Hi, fellow Webflowers. If you're new to this channel, I am Nico, Webflow developer and co-founder of BlogItIn, the first Webflow partner agency in Munich, Bavaria. So in this video, we'll be going through this effect. Alright, so welcome to the Webflow Cloneable series, where I show you how we at BlogItIn build crazy Webflow animations to help businesses stand out from the crowd. After this video, you'll be able to clone this page and use it for your own projects. Alright, so let's get right into it. So arriving inside the Webflow designer, what we can basically see is the HTML on the left and the CSS on the right, and then the JavaScript in the interactions panel. So what we're going to do first is I go through the HTML markup and the CSS, and after that I'm going to the Webflow interaction. All right, so let's quickly start with the HTML markup. So what we got right here is a basic section, and in this section, first of all, we have this, the second circle holder where basically just a logo is inside, and after the circle loader, we have the container where basically it's just a flex box which is set to a height of 100 VH so that it is the full width, and then a heading, and this heading is more interesting because in this heading there are spans, and every as you can see, every letter is one span. Why is that? Because when we're going to the Webflow interaction, we need this span to animate, because as you saw in the interaction, if I'm reloading this real quick, is that every letter will display one by one, and every span has a class of span and then a combo class of first, the second, the third, and so on. And that's also regarding the Webflow interaction, so that it is more efficient, but you will see this once we're going to the interaction. Okay, and then we have basically the loader, which is set to display none right now. And that's basically, if I'm setting this to display flex again, it's the loader in the beginning. So this wrapper will be set to display flex on the beginning with the interaction, and after that it will hide. That's just the BlogItIn branding. That's not part of this tutorial. All right. So then let's go to the interaction, so the very funny part. Okay, so first of all, we have to think of the page trigger. And what makes sense for every loading animation is that first of all, we have to set the page trigger to page load. And once the page finishes loading, this interaction plays. And let's go on the interaction. Okay, so first of all, we gotta think of the initial states. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this circle to a rotation of 0 degrees. And why do we do that? Is because once the page loads and once the interaction plays, we are going to set the circle to a rotation of 500 degrees. And we just need, for the Webflow interaction to work properly, we just need an initial state so that the code knows, okay, that this circle or this image goes from 0 degrees to 500 degrees. All right, and the next one is the loader wrapper. So basically, this loader wrapper is set to flexbox, just as I've shown you in the beginning with the initial states. And then we have the span, and that's very interesting because that's actually also why I used a span and then a combo class of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Because when we use it this way, I can just select the class of span once and set it to a opacity of 0%. If I would not have set the combo class with 1, 2, and I would, let's say I would use a class of span -1, span 3, and that's just the normal class, I would not be able to select all the spans at once. That's why I'm setting the combo class of 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, and then we're going to start to rotate the circle. So that's the first rotation right here. And after the rotation is finished, we are going to scale the circle and at the same time turn the opacity to 0, and at the same time turn the opacity of the loader wrapper to 0. And that's the effect which you can basically see right here, is that it gets scaled down, and after that the opacity also goes to 0, and then also the opacity of the loader goes to 0. And then what's very important is to not only set the opacity of the whole wrapper to 0, but also after the opacity is basically set to 0, to hide it properly, because otherwise there would be the wrapper still. So if this height right here would not exist, you wouldn't be able to click on the page, because the loader wrapper would still be kind of there but invisible, right? So that's really important to set this loader to display none after the opacity is basically set to 0%. Okay, and then we are going to the spans. So right here we have the first span, and then the second span, the third span, and you can see right here it is, or the class selected of span 3. And if I'm going to this one, it's the span and then 4, and then span 5, and then span 6, and so on. Okay, and that's basically just opacity set to 100%. Of easing of alt quad, it's basically just a personal preference. Basically, you can select the easing how you like, and it's depending on your project and how you set the easing in normal states. But I just found out that the easing of alt quads for a duration of 0.2 seconds is a good fit for here. But depending on your project and depending on the kind of interactions you want to apply, then you might use different easing or a different duration. Okay, and that's all the interactions. So if I'm playing this again, it's rotating, then it's scaling down and setting the opacity to 0, and then the spans appear one by one. Alright, so that's it for the Webflow tutorial for today. If you want to learn more about Webflow and its animations, then you can visit our website. It's the first link in the description. Alright, so that's it for the Webflow tutorial for today. If you want to learn more about Webflow and its beautiful interactions, then you can visit our page. It's the first link in the description. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Till then, happy coding.